Hey, it's Ray Pearson with the Return to Rural Project. For those of you who don't know what Return to Rural is, it's an initiative that encourages young people to move back to special areas, raise their family, start businesses, and make a success in the rural lifestyle. And today I am in the kitchen of Brad and Mona Howe, and I'm going to turn to you guys. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So today we're at Two Rivers Ranch.
Yeah.
Just we're east of Empress.
Right.
Yes, and we're with Brad and Mona Howe, and their two kids here in the living room. We got Hayes and Georgia. So we were just here visiting at their table, and we're talking about living here. Can you guys tell us? So you grew up here, Brad.
Right.
And Mona, you grew up just
South of Maple Creek,
south of Maple
Saskatchewan.
Creek, and you are now fourth generation ranchers.
Right. So my grandpa's, where his homestead or his house was just a few feet north of where this house currently sits. So.
Awesome. And so, can you tell us how you end up back home?
Sure. Well, when I left the ranch here, I guess I went away to school to Lethbridge and got a bachelor in management. Did a few different jobs with them. I worked with UFA in their head office in Calgary, and then got moved down to Medicine Hat, and that's kind of where we got to meet each other and stuff like that. So after that, I went and I was a banker with ATB Financial, did a relationship manager on the agriculture side. And at that time there, we had bought a ranch at Elkwater, and she sent me to town to work, and she got to stay home and feed the cows and all the daily ranch work. And then we had a chance to sell that and come up here and buy my mom and dad's place here at Empress. So we were fortunate enough to do that, and it's always nice to come home. And this was a house that we grew up in. It was built in about '85, so it's weird moving back into your mom and dad's house. But anyways, we were pretty lucky to get to come back and be where I grew up. So
You've made it your own. So, and you guys made the move back in
2011.
2011.
Right.
And what does your operation consist of?
Sure. So where we are situated, we're in between the Red Deer and the South Saskatchewan River, where it joins together. And our other, we've got one other fence we share with one neighbor on the west side, and we run about 350 head of Black Angus cows, as well as some registered American Quarter Horse horses, I guess, too. So we enjoy that side of the business as well.
Awesome. And we have Hayes over here.
I'm not sure.
Hayes, what's your horse's name?
Bullet.
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 Awesome.
How big is he?
Really big, isn't she?
And that's what we talk about is part of the lifestyle is that's really attractive is being able to be here with your family.
Absolutely. So we enjoy the family side of it. That's probably the best part, is having them with you every day. And actually, now that they've gone away to school, you can actually get a little bit more work done. But we do enjoy the days when they're getting older.
Oh, dropped it. Okay.
They're good help, anyways, as they get a little bit older. So.
Awesome. And today, before I even came and saw you guys, were bringing cows in off the pasture.
Yeah, we were a little bit late. We had another cow chasing experience, and that went pretty good as well too. So
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
always
an
do what
unplanned
we're
one.
supposed to.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
every day's different. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, every day is never the same, which is
Yeah.
appealing to what you guys said earlier too. When I asked you what you like to do for fun and what you love about living here, is you said that you basically live on a horse every day. Something that you can do like
Yeah.
that every day.
Yeah, that's a lot of the stuff that we do that's fun seems to involve horses, anyway. So.
If we got an excuse to get on one, we usually take it. So
Awesome. Okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to? What's your favorite thing about living here? Being now that you've moved back, you've returned to rural.
I really like having Brad at home, helping, working together, doing all the ranch work together, rather than me doing most of it and him after work and trying to get everything in before dark, and just being able to work as a family and do things with the kids.
Yeah, it's a partnership, right? So, anyways, you get to work with your wife, and you enjoy working together most days. And yeah, for me, just having our own business, working for ourselves, I think that's been kind of my favorite thing, and the decisions you make either affect things in a good way or a bad way. So, but it's all up to you, not somebody else telling you what you need to be doing every minute. And so that was key for me to want to come back and have my own business and run a ranch. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, which leads me into my next question is words of advice for anybody wanting to return to rural. You guys made a really good point earlier when we were talking about that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to do it, I guess. We had a good banker, I guess. That was a big one when we got our start. It was through the Alberta Beginning Farmer Program, and like we said before there, when the guy phoned and says, "Congratulations, you just got the biggest beginning farmer loan AFSC has ever given out," and it was a little stressful, and I was a little scared at that moment. I remember the exact spot I was, but anyways, take the chances, and once the banks, you've signed the papers with the bank, then it's their problem. It's not your problem anymore. They're the ones that are worried now that you have to pay it back.
Make that first step and decide and be dedicated to what you want to do.
Dedicated. And you mentioned something about buying land earlier.
Yeah, and anyways, another part is succession planning. If there is any way you can work with parents or even, it doesn't have to be parents, can be aunts and uncles and different things like that, but if you can keep the communication open, lay the path out so that both parties are comfortable before and after the transaction. So I think that was the biggest thing was, well now my parents, what are we going to do? Well, this is how we can set it up so you guys will have money for however long you're going to live or whatever. And that was their biggest thing. Well, where's the money going to come from, right? So, but yeah, the other part was don't be scared to buy land. Land seems to be appreciating as each year. It's a crazy number. It's way better than your money sitting in the bank. So versus renting is also a good way to start out. But if you can work into where your loans, where the bank will give you money so that appreciation goes up in your name, not the landlord's. So,
yes, exactly. That's really good advice. So something that we had talked about was that you have recently been, is it nominated for the Cattlemen's Young Leaders?
Yes. The CYL program that the Canadian Cattlemen's Association runs, and it's a great opportunity for people in the cattle industry under 35, where you can learn about almost any aspect of it that you're interested in, and they have funds for you to go to different industry events, and you get paired up with a great mentor that will help you in all sorts of ways in whatever your interest is in the business. And yeah, I just can't wait to get more involved with it and see what I can get out of it and what I can contribute back after it's all said and done.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity to travel with those different things like that. So I was part of a mentorship through the Saskatchewan Stock Growers, where we got to go to the NCBA conference in San Diego. So to get to see how it works with our American partners, and the cattle industries are so intertwined, what happens down there affects us just like that, right? So to understand what they're thinking of what we're doing and how we can work together. And I was very pleasantly surprised that they think Canadians are, they know that we're a partner and that you have to work together and stuff like that. So that was a big part of that, and all the different learnings and stuff that we brought that we can bring back to our own operation and hopefully implement some of the changes for the better on our own place. So.
Okay, that's really cool. I really think it's neat how I've heard you guys talk about the values of, the older generations, and then combine them with all this new knowledge that you're bringing back to help improve the operations. And I just think that's really neat that you guys keep learning, and you're a really good example for people to continue doing that. Can you say anything? You mentioned earlier that you liked the work ethic and the values that come with being raised in the country. Would you mind touching on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we talk about our kids and what we want, how we want them to grow up, and I think it takes a long time to kind of to instill it in them, but that it might be 2 hours to past supper time, but you're 2 miles from the corral. Well, we can't just stop here. We've got to keep going, or we've got to keep treading along with what we're doing. So, and hopefully you give them that as they're younger kids, and that should stick with them for a long time. So An example was a lawyer, which you wouldn't think, well, what would an ag background do for that? But a guy we met in Calgary at the Canadian Beef Industry Conference, he said when they were articling, he said a lot of the other lawyers, they would want to quit at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and they'd say, no, you guys got to keep going. And he said that's how he was able to succeed in his, because he was used to being out, remembers as a kid, you're on the silage pile, you didn't quit till you were done. So whereas these people that grew up in the city, they didn't have that same work ethic. So that's a good example. I hope we can instill that in our kids.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, and I'm seeing it already, so you guys are doing a great job. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we go off camera? Like to share?
Thanks for coming out and giving us a chance to talk with you and tell people what we do and how much we like it here. And maybe encourage somebody to do the same.
Well, you are so welcome, and thank you for sharing your lifestyle with us, and sitting down with us and with the kids and everything. And before we go, hey Georgia, what's your favorite thing about living here?
My favorite part is that my dad grew up here, and I think that it's cool that I get to have the same experience as he does.
That's pretty cool. Awesome. Do you want to wave goodbye?
Goodbye.
Want to wave bye, Hayes? Well, thanks, guys. We have Brad and Mona House, and we are out.